Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel, the best place to learn about fasting, fitness, and innovation. In this video, I want to talk to you about how I lost 20 pounds of fat in 90 days by changing my lifestyle. A little background about me: I was working in a software company and the job was super demanding. I was always in shape, kind of in college and in high school, but after starting this job, I found myself working and commuting for like over 12 hours a day. I stopped eating healthy. That was the first thing that led up. And then I stopped going to the gym, I stopped training with weights, and I just completely fell into the worst shape of my life. And this actually ended up making me feel super depressed about who I was. I lost self-confidence and I kind of had an identity crisis. Being in my best shape was really important to me. So this year in May, I lost my job due to the corona situation. It was actually one of the best things that ever happened to me. After that happened, I realized that I really had to turn things around. I couldn't be living for a job that could just lay me off if things happened, that were out of my control. So I had to take control of my life, and the best way that I knew how to do that was with my fitness. So I implemented these 5 things that I'm going to teach you about in this video to help me make a complete transformation and go from looking like this to looking like this. The first thing that I started doing every single day on my weight loss transformation was intermittent fasting. I had read about intermittent fasting, I had done it before, and all the times in the past when I was in good shape, I would do this. I would eat within an 8-hour window and then fast for 16 hours. This made it super easy for me to control the amount of food that I was eating as somebody who naturally has a problem overeating. And also, there's a myriad of different benefits with intermittent fasting and how it increases insulin sensitivity, it increases growth hormone, and this is stuff that was all kind of fucked up in my body, excuse my language, but it was because I was constantly stuffing myself with food and my body never got a break, so my metabolism was really slow. And this really helped me speed up my metabolism in order to jumpstart my fat loss and start seeing quick results that help keep me motivated and keep me going on my journey. The second thing that I started doing that helped me lose 20 pounds of fat in 90 days was I started to count my calories. I realized that it was really important to start quantifying the amount of food that was coming into my body so that I could track my results and make sure that I was actually going to lose the weight. I had a lot of extra fat to lose, so I had a lot of room to work with and I could slowly bring my calories down. One thing that I wanted to avoid which is a kind of a trap that I fell into in the past when dieting, is crash dieting, putting your calories too low or not counting them and just being like, okay, I'm only gonna eat meat and vegetables from now on. And then you end up starving, you end up being super depressed, feeling like shit, and you might lose weight initially, but then you gain it back as soon as you get off that diet. So I wanted to make sure that this was sustainable because I had the time now and I had the energy and most importantly the motivation to consistently make sure that I was getting results. So I started to track my calories every single day, and I started at a maintenance calorie limit for the weight that I had, and then I slowly brought the calories down. Every month I would bring them down 200 or 300, and so it's been 3 months since then, so I brought my calories down a good bit, and that kept me losing fat consistently without having to cut a ton of food all at once and just mess with my life. The third thing that I started to do that was really helpful with my weight loss journey was to drink diet soda instead of eating sweets or chips. So I have a huge problem with constantly snacking on something sweet. I'll go into my fridge and grab a chocolate bar, or I'll have some chips, I'll have a bag of chips throughout the day. And this was especially bad when I worked at the company that I was working at. When I was at the office, they had all these delicious snacks like Kind bars, they had Pops chips and all this kind of stuff. And I would just eat this throughout the day while I was working. And this was a huge factor that ended up having me gain a lot of weight because my normal meals were roughly the same size, but I was actually consuming probably 1,000 calories of random snacks throughout the day. So now I needed to train myself to stop snacking so much. I still have a snack every day, but I try to make sure that it's healthy, like a fruit or a low-calorie Greek yogurt or something like that. And if I get a craving, usually the best thing to do is just reach for a diet soda or some kind of fizzy beverage that can give me some taste in my mouth and fill my stomach that stops me from reaching for the bag of chips or for the candy or chocolate or sweets. So this really helped to drastically reduce the amount of calories I was consuming every day, which ended up helping me lose weight. So I love eating junk food, and I'm not the type of guy who can just go on a completely clean diet, oatmeal for breakfast, chicken and rice for lunch, and steak and salad for dinner. That's not me. That's not how I like to eat. I like to eat pasta. I like to eat burrito bowls. I like to eat burgers. I like to eat ice cream sandwiches. I like to eat all this different type of stuff. And luckily nowadays there's so many low calorie alternatives and different ways that you could prepare the food yourself so that it actually isn't super packed with carbs and fat like as if you got it at a restaurant. So I'm from New York, so obviously we love pizza, and I would always go out and get a slice of pizza, but a slice of pizza has so many calories in it. So what I started to do is make my own lower calorie pizza, for example, by getting cheese with no fat, lean chicken breast as the meat. So by the time I end up actually making the food, the calorie count and the macros actually end up not being so bad. So I can still eat the type of food that I like, but it just takes a little bit more effort for me to prepare the food, to source the right ingredients, and to make sure that they're low calorie. So this really helped me because every time I would have a craving for bad food, just like with the sweets, I would just replace the thing that was calorically dense before that would end up making me more hungry with something that was filling, kind of similar, and still tasted good and made me feel good about the whole dieting process. So the fifth thing that I started to do to help me lose weight on this new journey that I was on was to start training with weights and doing calisthenics in my house. So this was especially difficult with the situation going on. I didn't have access to a gym, and I wanted to make the best possible transformation that I could but I had no weights. So it was incredibly difficult for me to do, and I had to really motivate myself and learn how to train with my own body weight, and then eventually ended up investing in some 50-pound power block dumbbells that really kind of helped me, but still it wasn't enough weight for a guy my size, but I did what I could with what I had, and I ended up having pretty decent results with it in terms of increasing my strength and just generally revving up my metabolism. I think it's really important to consistently train with some kind of weights or some kind of calisthenics, at least if you're looking to lose fat, just because it really has an extra metabolic advantage. It really increases the amount of calories that you burn throughout the day, and increasing your muscle mass and just putting your body through that stressful process will help you metabolize food better and will help everything come through your system better when it comes to fat loss, as opposed to just sitting there and being sedentary. Because if your body sees that you're just sitting around all day and not really doing anything, it's not going to be so motivated to burn off the body fat as if it sees that you're doing high levels of activity and you're not giving it a ton of food. So it's really going to have to use the body fat, which is basically stored energy, for fuel, and then obviously the next day you'll have a little bit less body fat. So one thing that I would say, even if you don't have access to a gym, it's really important to establish some kind of progressive training routine that you can stick to, that's consistent, that's on a schedule, and that will really help with your fat loss efforts. So I hope these tips are useful to you guys, and if you're struggling with your weight right now with everything going on in the world, I just want you to remember, don't feel bad about it. A lot of people have put on excess fat during kind of the whole situation. We're stuck in our houses and it's really easy, like I said, when you have those things available to you, to overeat, to put on a little bit of extra fat, and it's completely normal and it's fine. When I looked at myself, I felt really bad about myself, so I know how that feels like. So if you're going through that right now, I just wanted to make this video to show people that you can change, and it's not that easy. It's not that hard. It's just about putting in some specific habits that can really help you take something that you're doing already, tweak it a little bit, and you do that with 5 things, with 10 things in your life. Just put in a little bit better habits, and you end up transforming in only 90 days. So if you want to learn more about how to do this, I created a program called Sustainable Shred, which basically walks you through the entire process that I did in order to do my 20 pounds of fat loss in 90 days transformation. Not only this, but it includes a full nutrition breakdown with over 20 recipes and full workout plan so that you can progressively increase your weights while progressively decreasing your calories, increasing your step count in order to coax your body to lose the excess body fat while retaining or even building new muscle. Sustainable Shred can teach you how to be your own coach so that you can track your results and create a physique that's not only awesome 3 months from now, but 6 months from now, a year from now, and make sure that you sustain the results that you get, unlike the crash diets that have you going up and down over and over again. Thanks for checking out the video, and if you like the information presented here, make sure to subscribe because I'll have more free content coming out so you can learn more about how to achieve your best body. Thanks for watching.